My name is Zara. I was born in Kabul, in a city that carried both beauty and fear. My life was full of small dreams, like studying, walking freely, and hearing music in the streets. But my biggest dream was simple: to live without fear. That dream became stronger when I met Omid. His name meant hope, and for me, he was exactly that. We met in university. He was tall, quiet, and always carried books under his arm. He believed in education, in freedom, in a better future. I was drawn to his calm strength, and he said he was drawn to my courage. Together, we built a fragile happiness in a world that often felt too dark. We studied together, laughed in the cafeteria, and sometimes sat on the rooftop of the library, whispering about our plans for the future. In those moments, I believed life could be kind, but the world outside did not believe in our dreams. The city grew more dangerous every day. Friends disappeared. Classes were canceled. Bombs echoed across the streets. One afternoon, Omid took my hand and said, "We cannot stay here. We must leave. If we don't, our dreams will die here." I looked into his eyes and knew he was right. We spent weeks searching for a way out. Every path was blocked, every promise dangerous. Finally, we found a man who could arrange fake passports. His price was high, but our families sold what little they had to help us. For the first time, escape felt possible. For the first time, I let myself imagine a life beyond walls, beyond fear. The night before we were supposed to leave, we met the man again. He placed 2 passports on the table, then shook his head. "I'm sorry," he said coldly. "One is already taken. Only 1 passport left." My heart sank. My hands shook. 1 passport. 1 chance. Omid asked quietly, "Can you get another?" The man only shrugged. "Not soon. Maybe months. Maybe never." I looked at Omid, terrified. What would we do? I thought he would tell me we had to wait. I thought he would say we should both stay. But he only nodded, calm, as if already making a plan in his heart. The next day, Omid gave me the passport. "It is your turn," he said. "You will go first. I will follow soon." I wanted to argue, but his voice was steady. He promised he would find another way. He told me I had to live, that our love had to survive through me. I was too frightened to think clearly, too desperate to believe. So I agreed. I packed my small bag, kissed my parents, and left with him by my side. At the border, my heart raced. My hands clutched the passport as if it were a piece of my own soul. Omid stood close, his hand warm on my shoulder. When it was my turn, he whispered, "Go." I looked back once, saw his face calm and strong, and stepped forward. I did not know it would be the last time I would see him. The journey was long. I crossed checkpoints, walked in the cold, sat in crowded buses. Fear never left me, But Omid's voice echoed in my mind, telling me to be brave. Finally, I reached the safe country. The air felt different, heavy with freedom, but empty with loss. I searched for Omid, waited for his message. Hours passed, then a day, then another. At last, my phone buzzed. It was his message, just one line. Did you go? Then you are alive. That is enough for me. My hands shook as I read it again and again. My chest ached with the truth. He had never planned to come. He had given me the only passport. He had erased his own name, written mine instead. He had chosen my life over his. I cried until my voice broke. I wanted to run back, to find him, to tell him I did not want freedom without him. But the border was behind me, and he was gone. All I had left was that short message, his final gift, his quiet sacrifice. Now years have passed. I live in a different country. I study. I teach. I walk streets where bombs do not fall. People look at me and think I am lucky. But they do not know the price of my safety. They do not know that my heart stayed behind in Kabul with a boy who gave everything so that I could breathe in peace. Sometimes I sit by the window and imagine him. I see him walking through the streets of Kabul, head held high, books under his arm, as if nothing could ever break him. I remember his smile, his voice, the way he believed in me, and I wonder if he is still alive, or if he became another name whispered in grief. Every year, on the day I crossed the border, I tell his story. I tell my students about Omid, the man who chose love over life, the man who gave me freedom at the cost of his own. I tell them that true love is not only about holding hands or walking together, but about sacrifice, about giving everything for someone else. When I finish, there are always tears in my eyes. Some of my students cry too. They ask me why he did it. I tell them, because he believed my life was worth saving. Because he wanted at least one of us to survive. I keep his message on my phone, though the screen is cracked and the words are fading. It is my treasure, my proof that once there was a boy named Omid who loved me enough to disappear. I am Zara. I escaped because of him. I live because he chose to die in silence. And every time I breathe, every time I sing, every time I tell his story, I know he is still with me.